Where do you start? I mean, what a result. Where does this rank? Bangladesh all-time history of victories.
Right up there, beating Australia in Australia, especially against this Australian team that had four bowlers who had more than 300 wickets by the time the test finished. Also, Josh Hazelwood finished his 300 wickets as well. So against that bowling attack and against a team that hardly loses at home, they are the final frontier of cricket. Sri Lanka hasn't won there. Pakistan hasn't won there in like 32 years, 31 years. So yeah, massive. It's big. It's and to dominate them for 4 days. So I think Bangladesh has never played Test cricket this well.
What's the most impressive? You've covered Bangladesh quite a lot, but what's the most impressive aspect of this victory? You just mentioned there about other teams going to Australia. Australia, one of the best teams in the world. Bangladesh, one of the like eighth or ninth ranked in the world. But Bangladesh haven't been to Australia since 2003. They've had a couple of tours put off. So, what aspect do you look at this and think this unbelievable achievement is because of? Was it performance? Was it the amount of time you haven't played there? The amount of time that other teams have struggled there? I mean, they obliterated England 4-1 not long ago. What is the most pleasing aspect of this victory?
I think it was how they approached this game mentally. I mean, they grinded Australia's attack throughout this game, like batted about 138 overs for a team that lost to Zimbabwe in their previous Test match by an innings. And don't forget how they were bowled out for just 54 against a Cricket Australia 11. I spoke to the chief selector who's on tour right now, Habibul Bashar, who was part of that 2003 tour. Um, I just feel that the way the batters bounced back from that 54 all out, that was amazing to see. The way they left the ball, the way they played so late, and they forced the Australian fast bowlers to bowl at their bodies, and that's where they started to score all those runs.
Would people sort of look at Australia and think they were just complacent because of that 54 all out, thinking, well, we've got to go to Darwin, we've got to go to the north and play Bangladesh? Is that too simplistic to look at that way? And would that be disrespectful to Bangladesh's achievement?
No, look, I don't think Bangladesh really mind the fact that it's being called an upset or it's called a miracle. It is what it is. And now the stories are coming out. Firstly, Pat Cummins, I think, said in an interview a few months ago that cricketers are leaving millions of dollars to play these few days against Bangladesh. That was not the greatest of comments, but at that time, I think everyone was like, okay, yeah, sure. You can say that about Bangladesh because Bangladesh hasn't been that great in Test cricket for a very long time, as you know, Steve. Um, Now the stories are emerging that they were a little, I think they were off the boil a little because they have a big test summer and winter and everything coming up. So they wanted to rest the fast bowlers or the some of the key players. So they were out golfing and there was a fishing trip as well, although Taskin Ahmed was with that group. And there was a Cricket Australia arranged trip. So these things are emerging now. But I think Bangladesh has taken it well. They have really enjoyed the fact that Australia were outplayed completely.
Yeah, I mean, what Pat Cummins said. I'm coming from England, so England have said some stupid things in the recent past. So we're not sort of alien to that. I mean, what's the mood been back in Bangladesh like? I mean, had the euphoria of this victory, or is it job half done because there is another Test match?
Yeah, everyone is actually talking about the next test match at McKay, and there is jubilation. There's obviously the fans are excited on social media. I was at the Bangladesh Cricket Board headquarters today, which is quite an open place. It's the Sher-e-Bangla Stadium in Dhaka. People are jubilant. People are exchanging. They're having sweets. So having sweets, Bengali sweets, is a way to celebrate in our country. When you do well in an exam, in a school exam or a college exam, when you have good news, you share sweets or cakes. That's been happening in a lot of places in Bangladesh. There are a lot of smiling faces. Even the country's prime minister got involved. He called up the team when he was moving from one city to another in the country. He called up the team, asked them about Darwin House, asked them about how they managed to do such an extraordinary thing. And there are newspaper headlines which is now equating this to a world, almost like a World Cup win. So yeah, it's very exciting here.
Yeah, and some of the individuals involved. I mean, Tanzid Hassan scored his first century. Madi Hassan taking a fifer in the second innings to put obviously in a strong position. there were some real big performances from both bat and ball in the Bangladeshi dressing room.
Absolutely. It started off with Hassan Mahmood's 6 wicket haul, uh, very impressive bowler who's taken 5 wicket hauls in Pakistan and then India. In India, his 5 wicket haul included Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Here he got Travis Head and Steve Smith, and also the way he gets them out, he really works on their on the areas that he's been told to bowl by the fast bowling coach Tala Jubair or the analyst. He works with that, and the 6 wicket haul was very impressive. And then came Tanjit's century, which I should tell you, Steve, that he's actually a white ball specialist. Actually, he's a T20 opener.
Mm.
They have asked him to play in a similar fashion in Test cricket. He comes here and bats for 5 hours. So, I mean, that's something amazing to see that he applied himself. And Mehdi Hasan Miraj was extraordinary with the bat. He batted with the tail for about 50 overs. He scored a half century himself. That's where I think Australia lost that game. I think they reduced Bangladesh to 6 for 308 at one stage, 3 quick wickets against with the second new ball. But then Mehdi really frustrated them, batting out 50 overs. I think 50 overs from that point for the last 3 or 4 wickets, that really put Australia back. And then Mehdi comes back and takes that 5 wicket haul. I mean, he's been a clutch player for a while now against India, against Pakistan, in a lot of matches, whenever Bangladesh has, faced a lot of trouble, he's come back and done something great.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I mean, through my time, you look at, the subcontinent sides, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. It's been spin dominant. It's been heavily spin dominant. But Bangladesh seems to have fallen on a fast bowling unit that look as though they can not only perform inside their own country, but be a real force outside of Bangladesh.
And because of that, the Bangladesh Cricket Board has also started to shift from raging turners to bouncy pitches, depending on who's coming to Bangladesh. I remember when Pakistan were here in May, they attacked Pakistan with pace and bounce, and Pakistan were found wanting because they don't have that express bowler like Nahid Rana, and Nahid Rana really ran them hard. And against Australia in June, they played a one-day series where you know. Some of the Australian batters were running away from Nahid Rana. He took a truckload of wickets in those two series against New Zealand as well. He took a 5 wicket haul. So he was the big miss in Australia this time. He got injured in Zimbabwe, and Bangladesh were ruining that fact that he wasn't around. There's another left arm quick called Shoriful Islam who has a knack of taking a lot of wickets. He was also missing from this Test match. So in a way, this was a Bangladesh bowling attack. It's not the second best attack. It was still they had Taskin, who is the leader of the pack. You have Hassan Mahmood, who's got wickets everywhere, and then you have Ibadat Hossain, who famously took a 6 wicket haul against New Zealand. So they've all had their moment, but without Nahid Rana, there was a feeling that they won't be able to attack Australia. But I think the planning was very good with the bowling attack.
And where's that come from, the bowling attack? Does that come from, the Bangladesh Premier League, that, the shortest format you need fast bowlers in T20 cricket if you want to make a bit of a difference? Has that come from there, or has the coaching element of Bangladesh's academy and the pathway through, has that been built up? Because it doesn't seem as though it's a fluke that they've got a one-off. They've got 4 or 5 fast bowlers, look as though they can build a unit.
See, it's a very interesting story. It actually starts from during the pandemic in 2020 when Taskin Ahmed had a panic attack that his career was going to be over in this pandemic. He's not going to come back. He was out of the team at that time. He worked hard. He came back into the team. And seeing him, the rest of the fast bowlers started to work extra hard and started to put on a lot of work in the nets and in the gym. Because up until that point, Bangladesh were a completely non-pace bowling side. Like, they didn't even choose fast bowlers in certain test matches at home. Seeing them, increasing their work ethic and how they were taking a lot of wickets, the coaches started to find it very, they started to show a lot of interest in that. And also, you must remember, Bangladesh always had a very good bowling coach, from Otis Gibson, Alan Donald. They had Andre Adams. I mean, always they tried to bring some of the top names. They had Shanto just before this series as well. He went off back home for some family matters, so he's no longer there. He's recently said that he wants to come back. We've also had Courtney Walsh at one point, so I think they were not always utilized. But from the point of Otis Gibson, Alan Donald, Andre Adams, and then Sean Tate, these are the 4 coaches who really got the best out of these fast bowlers. And then the pitches started to change at home because seeing them, so it was quite organic. It wasn't the pathway always had fast bowlers, but they were not supported with the pitches. But now, with the understanding that they can be match winners, so the BCB is rolling out better wickets.
And what about the captain, Shanto? He said, you know, he wasn't sure if he wanted to play Test cricket 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's captain a win in Australia. He's won 5 of the last 15 against Australia and New Zealand. He's beat Pakistan. I mean, leadership like that is very, very impressive.
Very impressive. As you said that he was a bit of a mercurial character, but now he's matured and he's led Bangladesh to 9 Test wins, the most by any Bangladeshi captain, so the most successful captain. And he leads by example. He scores a lot of runs. He's got a great conversion rate, 9 Test hundreds and 750s, I think, at this point. Young guy, but I think he's got a great cricketing brain. I think he understands how to use those fast bowlers. He backs all his players to the hilt. He will give them a bit of chance more than other captains that I've seen in Bangladesh. So, uh, he's learned his trade on the job almost. He's not been a under 19 captain or a Bangladesh A captain for too long. I don't think he was ever a captain, but he has set the example of a young cricketer who can lead a team in a very and Steve, I should mention that he's led the team out in very difficult political circumstances as well. A couple of times when Bangladesh were going through a huge political upheaval, he was the captain. And as you know, that politics, culture, sports is all interrelated in Bangladesh. So he really handled those moments really well. And I think he's a very impressive character.
I think that moves on to sort of one of my final questions is how do the Bangladesh build from this? Because there is a lot of politics in that part of the world involved in sport, not just in cricket. But how does Bangladesh build from this? Because you want everybody to be on the same sheet and pulling together.
Well, the good news is they have a board president in Tamim Iqbal who used to play for Bangladesh. He was a Bangladesh captain, and he's one of the legends of the game here. And he's got some very, very good ideas, and he understands what is needed by a cricket board or for a cricket team, a men's team, a women's team, an under 19 team. And he's trying to structure all of that. He's just become a board president, and it's a very strong post for him. I think that's the good news. The thing is, bureaucracy slows everything down, but I think that's one of his big challenges that he wants to make sure that he builds that center of excellence like they have in India right now, or Loughborough that you have in the UK. He wants to build one like that in Bangladesh so that that pathway is always smooth and you always have those players coming out. At the same time, I think he's looking for a lot of money in Bangladesh because he wants some big sponsors to come. He's inviting a lot of big companies to come and visit the stadium, have a look, and look, our team is also winning. He's telling them. So I think he's making all the right moves. He's also visited the Bangalore Center of Excellence. The ICC recently made him a chairman of a committee looking into the franchise league. So he's making all the right noises and the right moves. So there is hope. But as you said, yeah, this country, politics is so intertwined with cricket. It's with the game and the administration. It can be challenging, but I think with the right people in the right place and with the team winning, it'll make a lot of difference.
Yeah, all that being said, and this win in Test match cricket with a lot of franchise and T20 cricket leagues popping up around the world. I mean, if Bangladesh were to go and do it again, either win 2-0 or come away with either a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 victory, I mean, the respect at the top table should be there now for Bangladesh after winning this Test match against Australia in Australia.
I would say so. I mean, to be honest, over these last 4 or 5 days, I've seen a lot of respect shown to Bangladesh by um, guys like you, and you have all these Australian legends, you, Steve, and then all the English legends as well. People are talking about Bangladesh, analyzing them more. It always needed a big win. I
Hmm.
mean, England, in Australia, somewhere, and I think they've got it now. And the fact is, I understand that Australia were a little, insulting to Bangladesh Cricket Board by not inviting them for a Test match for 23 years, but they've not taken the first opportunity to beat them. And I feel that Australia are nervous now. Australia have the problems. They need to check a lot of things now with their team. So that's a good thing. I mean, that's the sort of respect that Bangladesh have always sought.